Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you are not subscribed to my channel yet and you do like what you see, just feel free to hit the subscribe button, which will be located at the top. Well, I think at the bottom now. But anyway, you should see a button that says subscribe. And please subscribe. And, of course, make sure to like this video and, put it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever social networks that you might be on. And you can also add me as a friend on Facebook or follow me on Twitter, and I'll leave my Facebook and Twitter information in the more info box below. Okay, so this video topic that I'm doing, it actually came from a Facebook status of one of my friends. And she always has, really interesting things to say on her Facebook status. So, the topic is, okay, does marriage determine a guaranteed happy family? And I actually can read to you her status if I have it pulled up. I will read to you what her status says exactly. And then I'll get into my topic. So y'all just give me 1 second because I'm trying to pull this up. I should have pulled this up beforehand. Okay. Okay, so her status reads, and this is from yesterday, it reads, the one choice a woman has is the decision of which man she chooses to create a child with, in some cases. People are encouraged to marry before creating a family, but even marriage doesn't prevent the guy from opting out of fathering a child if he ever changes his mind and decides it's overwhelming. Okay, so after reading that status, I definitely found it super interesting. And this is my comment that I made because I did find this topic really interesting. So my comment that I made was, my comment went off of another comment by someone else. So his or her comment was, a mistake some people make is when they trust their heart too much. Some say follow your heart, that if two people love each other, that's all that matters, but love can be misguided. Feeling strongly about something doesn't give it merit. If any of this if any of this makes any sense. To put it simply, a person can love binge drinking or chain smoking or eating fatty foods with little regard for their own well-being or others. Just because we feel strongly about it doesn't make it right or even beneficial to us. Same goes for love or a person. It can really be without merit or principle. Then I said, wow, Cameron, you said a mouthful right there. I agree 100%. I think that's true. But whoever thinks that the love they claim to feel for another person has, whoever thinks that the love they claim to feel for another person has no merit, really. It happens a lot, but we just go along for the ride because we like the way it's feeling. I also agree with Caitlin and Cecile. We women don't always exercise good judgment when it comes to choosing who we should be intimate with, especially without the use of a condom. I think we women have to start using that second sense and intuition that the Lord gave to us because men really aren't too hard to figure out. Laughing but serious. So basically, you saw one of my points and one of my feelings about that situation. So does marriage determine a guaranteed happy family? Is it all right if children are born before marriage? Is it a sure thing that a guy will leave if he isn't married to you at all? It's funny because I think a while back I did an actual blog post when I was writing for Your Story magazine. I did a blog post on this topic, and then I'll probably post that in the more info box below so you all can have the link to it. You can click on it and read it for yourself. So, yeah, I think, because my blog post I did was based on, a guy, I think his name was Kevin Noble Millard, and he writes for Essence. I think he writes for Essence, I believe one of them. And he had a blog post in there in the magazine, and he was talking about how he is not married. but I believe he has kids and he has a partnership with his, girlfriend, and he's been with her for years, but they've never married, and they don't really plan on it. They don't want to marry. So he has a problem with the fact that society does not acknowledge unmarried couples. Okay. Now, I know unmarried couples who've been together for years, I think that's called a common law marriage, but they don't get as many rights as an actual marriage where we walked down the aisle, or we went to the Justice of the Peace, and we went to City Hall, whatever, and we, got married. It's like it's not legalized, it's not recognized by the law. And so when you fill out a lot of forms, excuse me, if you notice, the little boxes that ask you whether you single, married, widow, divorced, whatever, it's like there is no box for cohabitation. There is no box for we are a couple, but we ain't really married. We just like partnership. Nothing says partnership. It's like basically anything that's outside of the realm of marriage is considered to be single. So that's what his beef was. And, his thing was, should society and should the law change, and should they start to recognize, good families, good stable families that just may not have put a ring on it and don't plan on putting a ring on it. So, like Kim Zolcier says, the ring didn't mean a thing. And apparently it doesn't in some relationships, because there are relationships where there is a ring, the couple is married, and then the guy he'll be with the woman for a few years, they have kids, and then he'll still leave her. So there are so many single women out here, single mothers with children, single women with children, and it's kind of disheartening, and it's hurtful, it's a disgrace, I think, when a guy gets together with a woman and he has a baby, and it's their fault that we get pregnant. We can't get ourselves pregnant, right, ladies? But it's a shame that they know this and they still choose to not be in the child's life, and you're like, well, what are you doing? You're like, I didn't do this myself. I think I spoke about this in another video. I'm getting deja vu, so I think I spoke about this like months ago. But anyway, I still feel the same way. I'm like, it's a disgrace to do that to a woman. I don't care whether you married to her or not. I don't care whether you plan on marrying her or not. You still need to always be there for your kids, even if you two don't work out. That's cool, but them babies need to be taken care of by both of you all. Now, of course, a lot of people think that it is better for a child to grow up in a loving, stable, caring home, and their idea of that kind of home is where the mother and father of the child or children are married. So the whole partnership thing is kind of like BS to a lot of people. I actually talked to what was it? He's a life coach, and he was also a matchmaker. Yeah. I actually talked to Paul Carrick Brunson, that was his name. I remember interviewing him for a project, my last project that I did before I graduated out of college. It was one of my last assignments for my class that I was taking, and I interviewed him because that was my topic I was doing my project. But anyway, I interviewed him, and that's his idea of because that's how he grew up, and so this is his idea. Stems from the background he had of growing up with two parents in home and things like that. So yeah, and sometimes in the Black community, it's that's an issue for us. A lot of us, like I grew up with a single mother, me and my little brother. Our mom raised us by herself. She didn't have a choice. She never made a choice. Nobody makes a choice to be a baby mother. It just kind of happens. Like that lady Tracy Steele, DJ Tracy Steele on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Last episode, the fourth episode, she was crying and upset and arguing with Drew about, I didn't make this decision. You made this decision for me, And that goes back to my friend Kaylin's status on Facebook. She's saying the one choice that most women can make on their own is who they choose to have a child with. And in most cases, okay. And so, is that true? Well, yes, I think there's a lot of truth to that. You do have control over who you have a baby with sometimes, because life is life and life happens to all of us, regardless. who you are, where you come from, whatever, it happens. And so sometimes you can, I think sometimes having a baby with somebody that you really don't want to have a baby with is avoidable, you know. And I think a lot of times in those situations, women are making poor choices. My mom is always on me about making prudent decisions and not making stupid ones. You know, try your best. Don't be a fool on purpose. Never be a fool on purpose, you know. So my mom was always on me about making choices. My mom doesn't believe that life has to just happen to anybody. She believes that you have some sort of control, and she's right to an extent. Like for most situations, yes, you do. You know, especially when it comes to relationships, marriage, love, sex, whatever, baby making. You have some just, you know, you have choices. Women, you know, men have choices as well, but ladies, you do have the right to say no. You have the right to say, well, let's use a condom, or let me you know, go to a doctor and see if I can get on some sort of birth control. You have the right, you know, you make up your mind about, you know, how you feel about, you know, having a child. So children can be planned, but here's the thing, there's such a trick to that, because most babies that are born in the US today are unplanned. You know, whether or not the couple, you know, that she's a couple, meaning she's, you know, she coupled up, she's with her man, with the baby's father, whether or not the couple works out or not, most pregnancies are kind of unplanned, like they kind of just happen, you know, because pregnancy in itself is a mystery, and it's a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful. I know I want some kids. I love babies and the idea of being pregnant. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's just, it's so mysterious. It's like, I mean, it's like after you get pregnant, like when you first get pregnant, you don't even know you're pregnant at first until like what, damn near a month later. You know, then you find out. For some women even longer. They don't find out until almost 2 months later that they are expecting. You know, so it's just really weird. But there are ways to prevent pregnancy if you are sure that you do not want to be pregnant, you know, at a certain, you know, time in your life. And I think what's unfortunate is if you have women getting pregnant and they really don't need to be pregnant, like they can't support themselves, they don't have a job, or they haven't finished their education, or, you know, they have too much going on, and I'm like, you really don't need to, you know, be bringing a kid into your chaos. The last thing you want to do is bring a child into a bunch of bull. I'm like, why did you have this baby now? But then again, I think babies are beautiful, wonderful gifts from God. And I think that whenever you have your first child, obviously God meant for you to have a child then, or else you would not have conceived. So obviously the baby's there for a reason. You should never think of your kids as a burden. Most people don't, you know, no matter how troublesome or how bothersome or, you know, their world is at that point in time, they never look at their child as something that's adding to the, you know, the burden. They're like, no, it's my baby. I love my child, you know. So, and here's the thing about being ready for pregnancy and being ready to be a parent. Guess what? You'll never be ready. You're never ever going to be. Nobody's ever 2,000%, 100% ready for a kid. You're just not, you know, because if you've never done it before, you know, this is your first time, you know, being a parent and you know, things like that. No, you're not ready. You're just not ready. Being a parent is one of those things where you don't get a manual, you know, like you do for anything else. You don't get to take, you know, class, but you do have parenting classes, but even then you have to kind of learn. Being a parent, you learn along the way. You know, you learn through experiencing things. You know, what to do, what not to do, what works, what doesn't work. These are things that you're gonna pick up along the way. So don't ever think that you're gonna know everything you need to know. You know, while the baby's still growing inside of you, you think I'm gonna learn everything there is to know about being a mother, because no, you're just not. I mean, you know, that's how life is. But you know what? That's where the fun part is. That's that rush you get, that it just, you know, even when your kids are driving you crazy and you're like, oh Lord, what is wrong with these crazy ass kids? They just doing this and doing that, and I just told them that, and they ain't, you know, whatever, you know. At the end of the day, you will look at that child in their eyes and just say, that is my baby. I love my son, or I love my daughter. I mean, I don't care what it is, you know. So, yeah. You're never going to ever be, you know, really super, super prepared, you know. So, yeah. So, is it all right for children to be born, you know, before marriage? Me personally, I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, I just don't. I know y'all looking at me like, what? Aren't you a Christian or whatnot? And yeah, I am. But I'm also a human, and I'm a real woman who lives in today's time. And I realize that life happens to all of us, like I just said. So no, I don't think that it's a big deal if a child is born outside of marriage. Because I think if you were like, say, you and your man, y'all together and everything's going good. I think if you guys have been together for maybe a year or 2 years at least, it's like, okay, if everything is going fine in your relationship and everything is pretty stable and you're okay, and of course financially, my biggest thing is money. You just need to be able to, because babies are expensive, and so you need to have money. You don't want to have a baby when you're poor, and it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a tougher situation than a person who has money. Marriage is one thing, but it's like, how about money? Let's talk about money. Let's talk about dollar bills. Do you have that? Okay, a wedding gown is one thing that can come in the future. We're talking about some money. We're talking right now. What do you have? Like, do you have enough to be able to survive? You know to live a decent life. So that would be my only thing. But I don't think it's a problem if a boyfriend and girlfriend have a child. Okay, great. I think if they're together, they feeling each other, and nothing really going horribly wrong in a relationship, and they decide to have a kid, either they decide to, like they start planning, or it just happens. I think it's just fine. I think you can always get married like maybe a year later after the baby's born or something like that, because I don't know if I fancy being a pregnant bride. And for me, if I'm being a pregnant bride, it needs to be early on in my pregnancy with my stomach. I can hide and stuff. Because, ain't nothing wrong being a pregnant bride, but I feel like, why make it so obvious? Here's another thing I would have with being a pregnant bride. I wouldn't want to be one, because I just feel like if you are, people are going to look at you like, oh, they only get married because she's pregnant, right? And it's like, damn, the evidence, like, bam, in your face, like your big ass belly, you walk down the aisle. His big old belly kind of waddling down the aisle. Like, girl, you tried it. Why you just didn't wait till you had the baby out of you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you do that? You just kind of make it so obvious that, I'm like, I'm not for all that extra attention. Okay, that's gonna piss me off if somebody try me at the wedding. Try me on my wedding day. Say something crazy. I'm like, excuse you. You can leave. So no, I don't think I want to be a pregnant bride. I would just wait if I were to get pregnant before I get married. I'm like, let me just wait, till after the baby's born, then we can go back to wedding plans. But anyway, I figure you gotta deal with one thing at a time. having a marriage and having a baby is kind of two different things. It's like they're two different dynamics. So they both require a lot of your attention. So I'm like, let me just focus on the baby first. That's the most important thing. And then you can do a little wedding ceremony and whatever, later on. So no, I don't think it's a big deal. It depends on what's going on with the couple. Now, that's where it gets tricky, because a lot of people feel like if you are married, that it's guaranteed, it's locked in, that the guy is not going to leave and go anywhere. If you get pregnant, and they feel like if you're not married to him, that it's a guarantee that he will walk away. And I think both of those opinions are wrong, because nothing is ever a guarantee. And I think that everybody's different. So some guys will walk away from you regardless of whether you're married or not. Just because you're married, you're not safe from a man neglecting his responsibilities. A man is gonna do what he's gonna do. If it depends on what type of guy he is. If he's that type of guy where he don't give a damn about nobody but himself and whatever, then I guess you'll be, a single mom, But if he's a good guy and he's gonna take care of the baby, he loves you or whatever, then he's gonna stick out with you. He's gonna be there for you, especially if he wants to marry you anyway, eventually one day. I don't think he'd go anywhere. There are plenty of couples like this. I can't even sit up here and pretend and say, yes, it's a guarantee that your relationship is going to go down the toilet. That's not true just because you're not married and you happen to become pregnant. So that's not true for every guy. But for a lot of guys, a lot of times that happens. I think we see that happen so much, and we're so afraid of being a single mom. As a woman, you want security, we want stability, we want to know that you got our backs no matter what. And so it's because of that it scares us to death. We're like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, and he hasn't married me yet, and oh my God, I don't know what's gonna happen. But whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen regardless. So no, I don't think marriage is a guarantee that he gonna stick in. But then again, the fact that you're not married is not a guarantee that he won't stick in. So don't trust those two opinions. Those are not, I don't think they're realistic, you know, at all. So, yeah, so marriage doesn't necessarily guarantee a happy, you know, ending all the time. Not for everybody. But all in all, I will close saying this. Yes, I do want to be married. Yes, I do believe in marriage. For me, the whole partnership thing, okay, I respect other couples who want to just do partner, or we just partners or whatever, but I personally feel like I would rather have the sure thing. Because I feel like if y'all gonna be together, if you all together anywhere, you love this person, that y'all falling more and more in love with each other every day, everything good. Especially y'all been together for a year or two. What's the hold up with marriage? How come you won't just marry the person? You know, a lot of people will date you for 10,000 years and and feel like it's okay to continue dating you and hanging out, but never really making it official. You know, so what's wrong with committing to me if you love me and I really am special to you and wonderful and best thing that ever happened to you, love me, then marry me, you know. So you might as well, and plus it's safer for me and you because you got to think about the benefits you get, like, you know, insurance and money and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, you know, you get other benefits that unmarried couples don't get. You get rights and privileges that unmarried couples don't get. So I would definitely go for marriage. Yes, I am totally for marriage and children and all that good stuff, but I am open to however my life may play out and, you know, what may happen or whatever. So I'm good. I'm all good. You know, I'm not closed-minded in any way. I just feel like as long as you take care of your baby, then everything's going to be fine regardless of whether he sticks in or not, but you want somebody who's going to, you know, be there for you. So that's why I would say you might want to wait. You know, just wait until you know, till you're sure of this person. There's a good trust there, because if there's not a trust there and you're unsure about him and you have questions about him and he just, a lot of guys, you know, you can tell sometimes that he's not the type of guy who's going to stick in with you if you get pregnant by him, because he don't care. You know, you having problems with him as it is. So it's like, what are you doing with this guy? I mean, this guy's an ass. Like, no, he's not gonna stay in with you if you're gonna get pregnant. No, he trying to be somebody's daddy. He look like he don't give a damn about nobody but himself. So some ladies, almost say is use your gut, your intuition that the good Lord gave you, and just trust your instincts. Don't fall for everything. Everything these guys say to you is not necessarily true. Stop listening to all that bull they be spitting in your ear and you feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, you just sit your ass down and really just use some common sense and think about this situation. You know, it's not what he says, what he does. You know, so if he's a guy who does not do what he says he's going to do, he's lying to you all the time, cheating on you or whatever, abusing you in any kind of way, or you just feeling iffy about the relationship, not the one that you need to have sex with without a condom. That's probably not the one. You don't ever need to go raw with him. You don't ever need to go raw with that guy. Okay, you used to be like, oop, here's a condom. Here's a condom. Like, put the Trojan on. Hey, you know, I have it. I'm like, I'm like, give me a second. Let me grab this condom. Child, I'll be like, here, you know, come on, you're not going to lock me up, you know? You're like, I don't trust you. I don't see myself loving you, or I don't think you love me back as hard as I love you, so no, I'm sorry, there'll be no raw dogging for you. Alright, sir? Alright, so I ain't taught y'all ear off enough. I hope y'all watch this whole video. Please make a video in response to this. I would love to see it. Or either you can, you know, just leave me a comment. You can ask me anything. Leave me your opinions. I want to read what you have to say. And I'll probably put the link to my blog post too, just so you all can, like, you know, look at it and read it. All right, but anyway, I'll be back with another video. I'll probably review Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm not gonna review episode 4 because I was busy and everything with my graduation stuff. Yes, I graduated, by the way. Yay! Yes, I am officially a college graduate. Ceremony was the 19th, so I'm out of college officially. Had the celebration. It was a nice time. My aunts came, my grandma, mom, brother came. It was great. But anyway, I'm gonna be back and do the ATL review and everything. So. Yep, I'll see y'all later. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Add me on Facebook, Twitter. Hey. All right, I want to talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.